Hello and welcome to this week's Aiding Your Game, our web series where we talk about all things RPGs. Now it's convention season, so we haven't been able to be in the studio very much just because of all the conventions we've been attending. But we're going to try to make up all that time we've lost, get back to our weekly posting of videos, and sharing in the community that we love so much. Now, before we jump into this week's video, make sure you go down and hit that subscribe button. If you don't mind getting the notifications, be sure to ding that bell. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoy our content. Leave a comment down below of content you'd like us to cover in our weekly videos. One thing I've noticed at several of the conventions I've gone to is the gaming areas themselves generally have been pretty full. However, there's still a lot of people who are playing online, looking at virtual tabletop playing, and it's very interesting to see how some of the effects of being quarantined and kind of forcing the community to play online and meet online and develop online are starting to carry over into regular tabletop gaming. For instance, one of the stores I went to, their entire play area was set up with 5 virtual tabletops, and similar to what you're seeing posted online, where people are utilizing monitors and TVs inside homemade tables to build a digital tabletop set. And the allowance of maps that they had pre-generated that you could automatically bring up and utilize in your games while you're playing at their location was just astounding. It was something like 125 different custom maps they had built and ready to go. So it got me thinking about some of the changes that kind of being driven to only be able to play online due to quarantines and things like that have taken on the gaming community. Of course, we know that they've been huge in just allowing more people exposure to the games that we love. And it's really kind of broadened the allowance of people to experience what we consider nerd culture, what used to be really driven into basements and backs of comic shops and really viewed as the nerd thing to do, which was very derogative at the time, as I think back into the especially into the 80s and maybe even early 90s. But how mainstream it's become, how accepted it's become, and how more and more people of just absolute diverse backgrounds and personalities are enjoying the things that we love. So in that aspect, kind of having to take our games online and being able to play across multiple platforms, across countries, across so many different time zones, and be able to find tables that suit us, that are welcoming, that are inclusive, that are open for the games we love to play. Starting to think of, now that there are more allowances for us to meet in person and play, what are some of the aspects of those games that we're going to bring back to the tables with us? Some of my initial thoughts are things like the tokens and the digital maps. How can I incorporate those into my everyday games? Just because I'm so used to using battle mats and handouts and things like that, being able to email or send on Discord or Messenger notes and information and handouts basically for the players is super quick and easy. While it doesn't have that tactile feel, I feel I'm able to create things and store them very easily digitally. The allowance for me as an old school gamer to be able to bridge the gap into tech, bring it into my table, is pretty interesting. The other night I was looking around my table as we're gaming at the amount of people who are using digital dice. And for a long time there was such a stigma that the digital dice are no good. Having had to use digital dice, I don't believe that there's weightings or anything like that. Everybody is using one of 2 aspects, D&D Beyond, as well as one program that I shared with them that I use myself. And I think part of the interesting thing is the speed for them to roll. They're not having to really dig for dice. It's allowed things to move faster and faster. I'm very comfortable knowing when they're getting nat 20s because generally they have sounds going with them. It's really brought things to a new level that I don't think I really anticipated seeing, but it's a very interesting one. Additionally, some of the items that I'm used to using kind of more descriptiveness in setting the stage, in narrating the scenes and everything, I'm able to send imagery to them to really convey kind of feelings, and it's allowed me as a DM to even broaden my horizons on being more descriptive and really kind of setting the stage for the characters to enact in my game world. So it's really interesting to see some of the aspects that I've taken from the, I guess, digital world into my around the table play systems and play styles. Also, some of the allowances for people to have phones and things like that around the table. While I used to be very anti, technology around the table, I've opened more and more and more into it. Again, if I find there are distractions, I don't mind just talking directly to a player, but having them be able to utilize systems, whether it's looking up information for their characters, coming up with ideas, even talking amongst themselves in chats, I think is pretty good because, again, it doesn't take away from the table as long as I monitor and keep my eyes on it as a GM, as long as my players don't abuse it. It's great aspect for them to be able to still participate but not get bored, work amongst themselves without me being included as the GM. It's really been good. So additionally, as I think about moving from digital to, back to physically around the table, I'm trying to think of more and more things that I can pull from the online community into my physical gaming. Some of the thoughts are collaborations. If I've played games with you digitally and I have needs of NPCs, I keep thinking, well, I could reach out to this person or this person and invite them as a guest, or have them maybe even pre-record something and send it to me to utilize in my game. I think community-wise, we need to start thinking about how can we better support each other, as well as offering each other a wealth of more opportunities of content, being able to reach out to each other, stay in contact, and continue to develop game communities together. So that's one of the aspects that I'll leave for the audience here, and I hope you'll take me up on it, is if you have need for additional help with your game, whether that be popping in as a NPC or needing help with some aspect of your game, leave a comment down below. Reach out and let's network. Let's continue to bring some of that online networking back to our physical tables, even if we're miles apart, even if we're in different time zones, even if we're not able to physically meet. How can I help you enhance your game for your players? And how can I have you bolster the offerings you give at your table? Don't hesitate, reach out, let me know what I can do to help. I'll be happy to, again, whether it's pre-record something, whether it's help out with session building or creating a scenario, working on NPCs, possibly even having to jump in as a guest PC or NPC. Happy to help. Let's continue to spread this message and offer this kind of paying it forward to others in your community and other contacts that you've made while you've been playing and GMing and kind of browsing the online gaming community. Let's continue to grow, continue to develop, continue to support each other, and of course, continue to game together. I hope that this video has kind of helped with some aspect of transitioning back from digital to physical gaming. After all, for me, that's where I really love to game. I love that physical element. I hope this gives you an opportunity to start thinking and talking about bringing your games back into physical aspects. And again, if I can help in any way, don't hesitate, let me know. Until then, make sure to let us know, where will your adventures take you? I hope you enjoyed that video. Here's a link to another video that you may enjoy. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button to help us grow. If you'd like to support us, make sure you check out the description of the video with some links and leave a comment to let us know where will your adventures take you.